I feel like you're getting consumed by, work and other things, and you're not enjoying other aspects of life. So yeah, I still try and maintain a balance of being able to go out and enjoy being young as well, but looking at the path and realizing where I want to be is the most important to me.
Welcome back to the BILFpod, where authenticity trumps authority. Now, for those of you that are tuning in for the first time, this is the BILFpod. And before I even introduce you, do you know what a BILF is?
A boss I'd like to follow.
Oh, thank God.
Of course.
You have no idea how many people do not know. I've heard different variations.
I did my homework.
You did?
Yes, definitely.
Well, before I go any further, today's guest is super special. She is definitely a next generation BILF. Her name is Jacquelene Tsiouklas. She's absolutely breathtakingly gorgeous. Now, I don't know what y'all were doing when you were 23, or maybe some of you are 23 years old, but this chick is bad. I mean, she's a badass chick. She's an entrepreneur. She's a graduate from the University of Central Florida. Has from head to toe, you have all of this going on over here, like brains, beauty. I mean, what don't you have? I have to start though before I love to make people feel uncomfortable. I don't know if you're going to be uncomfortable, but you have to tell me about this viral moment. Like, I've looked this up. I don't know football, so you have to tell me about this.
You watched that
so
video?
Without further ado.
Well, thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here. As for the viral moment, really, I didn't really think much of it. I started getting into social media around COVID time, when everyone was bored out of their minds. So I just wanted to create content, and I saw that a bunch of guys were doing one-hand catches and they were going viral. And I'm like, I can do that. Like, I want to.
You can do a one-hand catch, like football thing?
I can now.
Wow.
I couldn't when I was first doing it. It took me like 4 hours to get one down. But pretty much, I just asked the quarterback that I played flag football with in high school. I'm like, let's go to the fields. Let's just film this and see if I can do it. So after 4 hours, I finally got my first catch, posted it, and then I just kept creating content. And now I got better. Now it does not take me 4 hours of practice to get one hand catch. But yeah, that's pretty much.
But who did they say you emulate? There was like a specific football player's name.
Odell Beckham. So I'm Odell Becky Jr.
I was so confused. I thought you were his girl. I thought you were his girlfriend when I was looking. So I'm like, what is going on here? And then I read the story.
There is an article with my face and his face next to each other.
Yeah.
No, I'm not his girlfriend.
Did you ever get to meet him?
No.
No? Does he know about this video?
I don't think so.
Did you tag him in this video?
I did not. I believe, so Barstool posted me and then SportsCenter posted, and I think they may have tagged him. I don't remember. But no, I never.
That's so fun. So that was your viral moment. That's pretty cool.
That was my viral moment.
That is really cool.
It was fun. And my 5 minutes of fame, I lived it.
I am super impressed. I'm just going to dive in there because you really are impressive. I had the opportunity of speaking to you briefly. And I'm telling you, when I was 23 years old, I was not anywhere like where you're at in life. I was still trying to figure it out. But let's just talk about what you're doing right now. I know that you do a little bit of modeling, but I want to be clear about what type of modeling that you do. And I just love how you love yourself. Like, that is super important.
Thank you.
Because that's taking me a long time to do that. And I love that you really do love yourself. You know your body. You just talking to you, you can see that, self-image is something that you created. It wasn't created for you.
Yeah, listen, I still have my days.
We all do.
I still have my days where I just cry, but then I get up and I'm like, it's fine.
Yeah.
Can't change yourself. So you might as well just keep going forward.
Yeah, if you can't beat them, join them, right? You got to love yourself.
But back to your first question. So I have been a content creator since about that COVID time. I think it's like 5 years. Yes, 2025.
Yeah.
So 5 years or so.
5 years ago. So what were you, 18 years old? 19,
yes,
19,
18,
19?
Around there.
I know. Not
one of those.
I know. I wasn't a math major, so whatever.
But yeah, so I have been a content creator for that many years. And then I also do some social media management, and now I'm getting into doing some influencer management. So right now I am just building my skills and learning as much as possible within the social media industry, because I look at it as, obviously, if you want to be the best, you have to be able to do the work to learn everything you can. And then eventually I want to be able to take everything that I know and put that into a business. So I have a plan. We'll see how the path goes, but yeah,
I love
what I'm doing.
that. I mean, I really do love that you're in college, right? And you at UCF,
Yes.
your major is
Business marketing.
Business marketing, and here you are starting your business. And I'm sure nobody else in your class was doing that. I'm sure of it, because that's not what you do. Typically, you're not doing. At least I wasn't doing that in college.
I did have a lot of friends that just, which there's nothing wrong with it, but
no,
like to party every weekend, and I did go out. I did have my fair share, but I just it didn't really excite me as much as it should have.
Yeah.
And I just felt like I wasn't really getting anywhere by just going out every weekend. Like I said, there's nothing wrong with it, but I was just like, getting drunk. Now my body, it feels gross.
Yeah.
And I have to wake up hungover.
So was this all? So maybe you were born to be an entrepreneur. Maybe.
Sometimes I think about it. I always say I get my hard work from my dad. So yeah, I mean, I don't like being told what to do. And I think a lot of entrepreneurs believe the same thing.
Yeah.
I think that's why a lot of people become
That's
entrepreneurs.
why I am one.
Yeah, exactly. So that is where I have always thought to be, is I want to run my own company.
Yeah.
I want to be able to be in control of my life. I don't want to just work a 9-to-5 my entire life and listen to somebody tell me what to do. And that's all I've ever thought about, probably since I was really young, I would say.
That says a lot about you. And I know we were talking a little bit about your experience starting with modeling. And I guess that would really be your first, at 15? Was that really your first taste of entrepreneurship? Or did you have something so your first real taste, okay? You go to this modeling agency, and you were telling me people looked at you and said, body looks good, but face not so much.
As a
15-year-old. You're 15 years old. I mean,
I know. Yeah, so right when I finished playing soccer, I got into modeling at 15. My mom and my dad had no idea how it worked.
So you just got yourself in modeling?
Pretty much. I did all the research.
At 15?
Yes, I sent in all...
I hope my daughter is listening.
I sent in all headshots to these agencies. They were smaller agencies, but I had no idea what I was doing. And then over time, I started working with photographers for free. Because obviously I didn't really have a value to provide yet. So I would work with photographers for free. And then I ended up getting my first paid job, which was awesome. And in modeling, there are great aspects to it. I met a lot of great people. There was great experiences. But as you said, I was told my body was great, but my face was average. And I'm 15. I haven't even grown into my face yet. Just give me 4 years. So there are, as great things there are in modeling, there are also some toxic things. I mean, I was always busy. You're always comparing yourself. I did feel like I was waiting for opportunities to happen, or I was just chasing opportunities. And then I eventually, about a year ago, kind of just took a step back. I'm like, I can't keep doing this. I'm just waiting for other people to take a chance on me. And I don't think I'm going to get anywhere by doing that. So that's why I ended up making that shift and really focusing on social media. I've always been a content creator, but really honing in on mastering the craft of social media and being comfortable in front of a camera speaking. 'Cause I was not good speaking in front of a camera 2 years ago. So just made that shift.
I love that. And, we were talking also, and you were saying that you love making yourself uncomfortable.
Yes.
Which is insane, because I only learned this concept a few years ago where, it is okay to be uncomfortable with being comfortable with being uncomfortable. Yes. And a lot of young women, so I want to just move back a little bit and talk about, because are the next generation of BILFs, I think there are some things that we really should bring to light.
Mhm.
And number one, I have a daughter that is 7. She's actually here. She's 17 years old. And her and I talk about this, and I've even heard her talk about, looking at her body and, oh, I'm too fat or I need to lose weight. And then, you're comparing yourself to people on social media. And I think for a lot of women young girls, especially with social media being at the forefront,
Mhm.
it is so important for young girls before they even look at another girl to be comfortable with themselves inside. And it seems like you always have been. So is that something like you train yourself to do? Or is that like, where did that come from? That inner like confidence that like, I'm it. Like you can look at you and you exude confidence. And that's so
Thank
important.
you. So I would consider myself a pretty confident child growing up. When I was in middle school, maybe like early high school, that was the point where I think every woman goes through that of just, they have those few years where they're just not confident, uncomfortable. Maybe it's because we were going through puberty.
Yeah. It's like an awkward age.
Yes.
It's so awkward.
But I hated feeling like that. So I essentially trained myself. I listened to podcasts from Trent Shelton to Eric Thomas to I was playing soccer
This is in
as well.
high school you're doing this?
Yes, middle school it started.
Middle school?
8th grade, yes. Because
But how did you even know to do this?
I don't know. I really don't. I just remember just thinking to myself, I hate feeling like this. I hate feeling insecure. And I just started listening to things that made me feel better and kind of gave me a different outlook on life of just kind of everybody goes through this, like suck it up, like because if you can't love yourself, you're not going to enjoy life. You're not going to love life. You're not going to appreciate what life has to offer. And I try my best, and I definitely have my days. I'm not perfect.
Yeah.
But I try my best to stay as positive as possible and just, love life to the fullest. And I really think that starts from loving yourself first.
Did your parents, were your parents, I mean, I'm sure you have loving parents.
Yes.
But is this something your parents were enforcing where they were having you, get into, because it is true. The more positive influence around you, the more positive you're going to be because everything around you, your friends are your mirrors. You hang out with nonsense. That's what you're going to emulate. But that's in middle school to know the difference between the bullshit and knowing that that's bullshit and I don't want to feel like this or be immersed in the bullshit to really honing in and taking positive influences and then enforcing it in your everyday life.
Yeah, I mean, my parents, they're great, but I don't really come from a very emotional family. It's more of just tough.
Yeah.
Suck it up, move forward, you're fine, which I think is good to a certain extent. But I think just kind of putting a mask over your problems, I think there's a lot of deeper layers that you need to uncover in order to fully love yourself. So I just, like I said, I just started listening to podcasts that made me feel better, motivational speeches. It was like a compilation, and they would just, a bunch of different speakers would be talking. And over time, when I have bad days now, I go back to those. I listen to the same ones that I used to listen to in 8th grade. I would go back and listen to those. Because like you said, surrounding yourself with as much positivity as possible is going to give you a different outlook of yourself. So yeah,
it's so true. I stopped watching the news probably 10 years ago.
Yes.
I stopped. I'm watching this other thing in the news, which is probably not good because you know what happens. You know why I stopped watching the news? Because there's never any good news. It's bad news. Yeah. And then what would happen is because it was the first thing that I'd watch in the morning, that would set the tone for my day. Because when
starts at 6 a.m.
Yes. But I'm just so impressed that you figured this out. This is the biggest thing. So one thing that I do that is really important that I do sales. So I don't know if you knew that I am a senior regional sales leader. No, you probably did your homework. You're like an overachiever. You're an overachiever. You're like, what are you not okay,
no, I thought it was so cool that you were in sales. You do health insurance, correct?
I do. I'm a senior regional sales leader. And one thing that I teach my agents is about being intentional and purposeful. But it's not so we tell them to come in and we say to them, okay, here's the deal. You're in sales. You're going to make $300 to $500 a day and you're going to make sales. But that's not the gist of it. In fact, 90%, I would say, of sales is mentality. So the one thing that I stress to my agents that I've been really emphasizing the last year or so is working and living with intention and purpose. And it starts with the first thing you do in the morning. Yes. So it's listening to positive podcasts, which there's so much yes, there's a lot of negative, but you can find the beauty and positivity out there. Like for me, I don't love the podcast as much as I love like a good Snoop Dogg song. Like that sets the tone for me all day. Like that really, but it's positive, right? It's positive. It makes me feel good. So like starting with intentionality and, starting with intention and purpose with what you're listening to, I would say even to what you're eating for breakfast will set the entire tone for your day.
100%. I agree.
Do you do that now? Do you surround yourself with people that are positive?
I do now. Growing up, I had a pretty hard time making friends. I had friends, but I guess more so having that inner circle, the best friends. And I had best friends here and there, but never a best friend that lasted like 7 years or I grew up with them.
Yeah.
And I just think maybe it's because I thought differently or I didn't want to be involved in drama. I can't wrap my head around being negative all the time. It's just not, I think I was surrounded by that a lot growing up. So now I learned probably 2 years ago, I really was like, okay, I need to start making friends that have similar mindsets, that want to be successful. They don't have to do the same thing that I do, but
be like-minded.
Positive. We lift each other up, and I've been lucky enough to find a few girlfriends over the last couple of months that we lift each other up. We make each other feel good. It's just, so yeah.
I love that. Yeah. I mean, it totally makes sense. And it's important that young women hear this because they get caught up. And like I said, I have a daughter. So I see this nonsense going on all the time where she gets caught up in the drama, loves the drama.
Listen, I love the drama.
Everybody likes a little bit.
Tell me some gossip. Yeah. I don't mind.
Everybody likes a little drama. I mean, I like the drama too. I even like to listen to her nonsense and drama.
Yes.
But when you get consumed with it, and that's what happens, and plenty of young women, I mean, I was her age. I know exactly. I was always involved, just like she is right in the middle of the nonsense. But your life becomes consumed with it. And then everything else is unimportant. Yeah, that's exactly. And that's exactly what happens is you start to get involved with this drama and then you manifest right into what you're saying, oh, I don't want to be involved with, but you're involved with that drama. And then obviously like you've taken this mentality to where you're at today. And your big passion, from what I know, is fitness. Like you're big into fitness. So what does that look like? Does that mean like you restrict yourself? Did you ever compete? Like what does that look like for you?
Well, growing up, I always was in a sport. Soccer was my main sport, but my mom always made sure we were in a sport. Probably, I don't know whether it's to like get out of the house, keep me out of trouble, learn some self-discipline, all the above. But I played soccer for 8 years, and I think that's kind of where my fitness background stems from. I'm an athlete at heart. I feel like I'll always have an athlete mentality. I'll secretly look at people playing on the fields. I'm like, oh, I wish I was playing right now, but my knees hurt, my back hurts. I'm getting to that point. But yeah, so getting into fitness, I just started working out. I learned that I loved working out more than playing soccer. So that's when I did that shift with modeling and just working out in general. And then I believe I really started learning more about fitness not too long ago. I was like, this is what I want to do with my platform. I'm the happiest when I'm doing this. And I mean, we spoke about it. We both have had problems putting on weight. Were you ever made fun of growing up, like being too skinny?
No, I was actually chubby. So
really?
I was chubby until, I mean, what they say thick. Is it thick? But I was a thicker girl. I was up until college when I got into fitness.
Gotcha. And then you lost a bunch of weight.
I lost a lot of weight. And then once you lose weight, you obviously don't want to be fat again or thick. You don't want to be
so
thick.
You have that body dysmorphia just circling.
Oh, yeah.
Mind.
Like that's like, it's been like that for like the last 20 years. But yeah, you want to look good, but fitness, but more than that, like fitness that's what it is for me too. It's actually like a non-negotiable in my life.
Me too. Like you said, it's how you set the day. I try to work out every morning if I can, because I see the difference in my day. If I work out in the morning, my day is a lot more productive as opposed to if I don't work out at all in the morning. So
what time do you wake up and work out?
It depends. Usually 7:30, but I have been pushing myself to wake up around 6:30 just so I can have more time to get things done. Sometimes I wake up at 8, but that's okay. Sometimes it's 9 on a Saturday. It depends what I'm doing the night before.
Yeah.
We have to take care of ourselves. But yeah, I'm really working on waking up a lot earlier so I can get more things done.
Yeah.
And setting the tone for the morning.
I mean, that for me, fitness is, like I said, it's a non-negotiable. I wake up typically most mornings between 5 and 5:30 a.m. because
I need to be like you.
Well, I have I mean, my whole life is insane, but I have 3 kids, so I have to be up before that. And then if I do it after, my day is shot. It's like, you're right. It sets the tone for me. People like to drink coffee in the morning. I like to do cardio and then work out in the morning.
Right.
And once I do that, like your endorphins go. So it's more than that. It's not just beyond looking good. That's important. Like I don't want to get that, but it's so much more than that. It's like that time that is just me. I'm not, I'm not a wife. I'm not a mom. I'm not, senior regent. I'm Mara, and I have those hour and a half, that 2 hours just to decompress, get my thoughts together, get my day going, and then after that, I'm ready to go.
Yeah, I know that I need to go to the gym when I am so stressed and I want to choke somebody. I'm like, I need to go to the gym. I need some me time.
It's a good outlet.
Yeah, it really is. It's healthy. If I'm going to be addicted to anything, I'd rather be addicted to working out.
I would agree with that. That is my one addiction, is that everybody knows this about me. If we travel, the hotel has to have a gym in it, or at least in the like near. Everybody knows if I don't go to the gym, everybody knows I start my day out like this. It is something that I'm just not willing to negotiate, because it means that much to me. And not only looking good, but the way that I feel afterwards. And it really does clear my mind, and I am ready to really tackle anything in front of me after I hit that gym.
I love that.
What about the food issue? Like we were talking about, a little bit about body dysmorphia, and I did compete. I competed for 2 years.
So you kind of understand with the modeling industry, it's very similar.
Yeah.
Comparing yourself, and
it's a harsh industry. Yeah, I think a lot of it is a false persona too. I think there are women that do it naturally, and it doesn't matter how you do it, because look, if they're willing to put themselves on stage, absolutely kudos to you. I really have no qualms about how they're getting there, what they're doing. But for me, it just gave an unrealistic look about how I look just at that moment, when I was walking the stage. And then from there, it sets the tone of what I think I should look like versus like what is healthy. And I've struggled with that a lot, struggled with body dysmorphia, struggled with eating, struggled with, just looking at the mirror. Like if you give me a red marker right now, I could literally, you're so young, so you don't know about the cellulite. Just wait till you're older. But I can literally.
I did not see any cellulite on you.
Oh, give me a red marker. I can highlight all of it. But it all comes from it's like insecurity when you're, when
you're battling. Yeah. Your mind.
Constantly. Does that happen for you? Because you don't look very insecure to me.
Oh, man. I could tell you some stories. No, growing up, I was very, very skinny. I ate a lot. I'm Greek, so I have to eat a lot, or else I'm getting kicked out of the family. But I was very skinny. I was made fun of for being skinny by, a lot of people. And then getting into social media, I've gotten comments about being super skinny. It's always been like a gnat, just like swarming in your ear. And I would say probably 6 months ago, I just had enough. I remember it was like twice in one day, someone mentioned that I'm just like super skinny, model build. And I was like, I'm done. You
didn't like that? I love when people say I'm super skinny. I love that. You didn't like that? I love it. I'm like, oh, yeah.
I think it's, obviously they didn't mean it in like a bad way, but I think it's because growing up, being told that I was so skinny and getting made fun of, it was just very triggering. And I just kept hearing it, never stopped. So I just woke up one day and I got so angry. I'm like, I'm tired of, I should love my body, right? I should, even if they're saying I'm skinny, I should love that I'm skinny. But I wasn't, because I secretly wanted to grow a little bit of curve. I wanted meat on my body. So I got so angry and I'm like, I'm done. And I did all the research I could. Now I learned a lot more than I did back then, but all the research that I could, I figured out what I wanted to eat every single day. I'm like, I need to eat this amount of food and I need to lift this amount and do these types of workouts. And over 6 months or so, I've gone from 118 pounds to 137 pounds of like 20% fat and then the other percent like lean muscle mass. So
Wow.
I've never experienced that in my life, because people have always told me as well, your body's not structured like that. You're never going to really put on weight. You just, like, you're skinny. It's fine. Don't tell me I can't do something. Like, I can do it.
So interesting that you're trying to put on weight and I'm trying to keep weight off. That's so crazy. Like,
well, when I cut, I'll be right there with you.
But I love it. Like, I love that you can see yourself both ways. Like, for me, because I have that huge insecurity of gaining weight, like, that is one thing I'm just not, like, that's another non-negotiable. Like, there's no weight gain. And, it's hard. That is a very hard thing to battle. But I love how you told me that, like, the food is a non-negotiable and that's why you don't compete, because you still want to enjoy.
Yes, I have known a few people that did compete and it looks super cool. I did think about it, but after what they told me they went through of not being able to eat certain things, I'm like, non-negotiable. I need to eat. That's my favorite thing to do. That's the only thing that really makes me the happiest when I'm feeling my lowest. So eating.
So that's it. Like, that's your comfort is the food.
Oh yeah. If I'm having a bad day, I'll order in some sushi, watch a little movie. I feel great. Next morning I'll wake up and I'll be so productive. Yeah, let's kill the day.
Somebody told me that your favorite workout, or you have like a workout just for booty. Is this true?
I kind of put it together myself. I wouldn't say it's just
I'm
booty.
just asking because I need a good booty workout.
Girl, I got you. It's hammies and glutes together. I believe that if you want to grow your glutes more, then you have to grow your hammies. I mean, everything's connected. You have to be able to strengthen your whole body or else you're going to have problems.
How do you know all this? Just from like doing your research?
Doing research. I actually just finished a personal training course, not because I want to be a personal trainer. I just want to learn. And after watching so many different YouTube videos, you hear this person saying this and this person saying this, and it gets confusing, like what's real. So I was like, I'm just going to buy a course and I'm going to take it and I'm going to
casually.
Yeah. And I just finished it. I have to take my exam next week, but I just wanted to learn. Like I said, if you're going to be the best in social media or sales, then you better know
your shit
as much as you can. Yeah, know your shit.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much what I've been learning the last 6 months of that moment when I was angry. I'm like, I need to learn. I need to know as much as I can. I need to get my body where I need it to be. And thankfully, it paid off. So
why are you
I'm
so
really
passionate
happy.
about this? Like, why are you doing this to like inspire young women so they're not so fixated on like the challenges you've gone through? Like, why are you so passionate about all?
Yeah, I've always loved being able to give people advice. I was known as the mom friend or the like fixer friend. If my friends had problems, I loved fixing and kind of breaking everything down and helping them feel better about themselves. And I think that also stems from like being surrounded around negativity.
Yeah.
And that affects you. But anyway, so I've just always had a knack for wanting to help people. And that's when I started realizing, okay, let's change my whole platform from modeling and fashion and posting photos that are the best photos ever because this is what social media is. Like, let's just do a rebrand. Just fitness, real content, helping people. And I'm still learning and doing different types of content and seeing what works. But I just realized I think that matters the most, especially with young women. I mean, I look at my little sister.
Yeah.
Like, do I want her looking at, this person that it's not reality?
Real. Yeah.
Or someone that is just doesn't care what people think and is just going to do whatever she wants. I mean, That's kind of how I look at it.
No, I mean that makes perfect sense because you crossed over. You crossed over from this like glamorous, beautiful world, and not that because I think fitness is absolutely, but I love that it's so authentic and real,
Hmm.
and it's
Definitely.
healthy, and
Hmm.
that's a really healthy approach to
And it's
young women.
fun.
Yeah, it
It's
is
just
fun.
fun. You can just do as much fun content as you want, put whatever you want out there. Like if you're in fitness, you can still put out motivational content, or you can still do your fashion content, but in fitness form. Here are my different outfits. So there's just like a lot you can do with
Is that
fitness.
what you're trying to do with the content right now? You're just
Mhm.
are you trying to create fitness videos? Like what is your path forward that you see?
So right now, it's really building my platform, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. And I want it to be primarily fitness, but I also want to be able to have that aspect of sitting behind a camera with no professional editing and just talking about me and how to be confident, how to be motivated on the days that you aren't don't want to be motivated, and still have that lifestyle aspect while maintaining a fitness realm because I could see myself having a side gig as like a coaching platform. I think that is definitely a goal for me.
I can
Like
see
it's a
like
good side
I
job.
could see a
Good
little
little side
fitness
job.
video like volume 1, 2. I could see
Yeah,
it. I could
I think
definitely see it. I'd buy it.
yeah, I think it'd be really fun. And I always thought because I've been on both ends of the spectrum of being really skinny and now I'm like bulking. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna have to cut soon. Having both on the coaching platform of like who wants to lose weight, who wants to put on weight.
Yeah.
And I've thought about that. So eventually I want to get into something like that, but right now it's mainly just building my platforms, learning as much as I can. Obviously not to make it perfect, but to make it make sense and educational
Yeah.
and fun
And
and
relatable.
authentic
Yeah.
and relatable. Yeah. So
All those cool
all the
things.
things.
But what does? I mean, you're so young, and at 23 years old, most people are not as driven as and people might hate me for saying this, but most people at your age, because I work with a lot of young people, are not as driven as you are. So, how do you keep a clear head, a clear conscience, stay motivated, and you have this entrepreneurial job that your career, not even job, like a career that you're trying to pursue? Like, what is getting you going?
So I would be lying if I told you that I don't have times where I think, man, I feel like I'm missing out. I definitely have times where I look at my friends or people that I used to be friends with and they're having the best time of their life going to all these parties and concerts. And it kind of sucks sometimes.
Yeah.
But I look at it and I always remind myself, do the hard work now so it doesn't have to be hard when you're older. And then you can enjoy your life
Yeah.
because let's say 10 years from now of hard work, I'm going to be where I need to be by 30. That's the goal. And then I get to spend the rest of my life traveling and going to partying and doing whatever I want to do. So I just really try and maintain that mindset as hard as it gets sometimes. And also balancing as well. Like I still go out.
Yeah.
I will go out. You have to enjoy your life if you're working 20, 25, 7. Then you really I feel like you're getting consumed by, work and other things and you're not enjoying other aspects of life.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I still try and maintain a balance of being able to go out and enjoy being young as well, but staying looking at the path and realizing where I want to be is the most important to me.
I mean, that isn't for someone at your age. And I keep bringing it up because I just see, because I work with so many young people and there's no plan. And that's the problem. Like
Mhm.
there's no map, right? You can't get to Arizona without a roadmap to getting there. So it's so important to have your goals lined up. And this is the exact advice that I give to all of my young agents and for people that are just starting out in business is that you have to have a long-term goal. But there is sacrifice because that's how I mean, I worked in college. I wasn't as goal oriented, but I had to work. And you have to sacrifice. And I think a lot of people are not willing. It's not talent. It's not hard work, it's sacrifice. It's the word sacrifice and grit. That's how you become successful in life. And the earlier on that you learn this concept that you're going to have to sacrifice that party that all your friends are at, like you can't go because you have to get up in the morning. But most people at your age would say, let me just, because I mean, look, I was young too. I know how it is. But most people at your age are going to want to do that party. But you're right. In the long term, what does that look like for you? Do you still want to be content creating at 35 years old? Or you're right, do you want to be on the Riviera?
But I think it all just really stems from how we're brought up. I mean, just basic.
Agreed.
Basic growing up. You go to school, get a job, live your life in your 20s. You're never going to be in your 20s again. Live it to the fullest. But I don't think your life ends when you turn 30. I don't think your life ends when you turn 40.
No.
Like, you're still young. You're not 100. Like, you're still young. You can still move. So, I mean, it's just, I think really that's where it stems from, is just that mindset. And also, I think we're human. We love comfortability. Like what you said, get uncomfortable or get comfortable with being uncomfortable. Yeah. I think that scares a lot of people.
It does.
Definitely scared me when I first started realizing, all right, let me just start doing this. Like, you start burning inside, like super uncomfortable. But yeah, I think that's really where it stems from. And it's just not fun for people, and they'd rather just not think about what they have to do and enjoy their life. It's kind of, I don't know how you would explain it. It's like a defense mechanism almost, right? Like, you're just...
Yeah, I think that people also, they rely, like for me, I always knew that I could go back home. I knew that I could.
Yes.
And I think you're right on that, the way that I was raised. First of all, I didn't know that there was a choice to go to college. I thought that's what everybody did. But I also,
Same.
one stigma growing up, my mom, whatever, it is true. My mom did not think that salespeople were successful people. She just did not think that. That's just the way that I was raised, is that you were either going to be a doctor or a lawyer. A salesperson was cliche. And anytime you thought of sales, it was like menial task. But in reality, sales is entrepreneurship. And if anybody knows anything about being an entrepreneur, the most amount of millionaires are created through sales and entrepreneurs. That's where they all stem from.
I agree.
And if we can change young people's mind to think like how you think, that yes, you can rely on your parents. I knew that I could go back home. I knew that. But I also knew that, well, I became an entrepreneur later on in life and for different reasons. But had I known what I knew now, then my life would have been a lot easier on the front end and I wouldn't have struggled. And so many people get into the real world with no real goals, no real mentality of what that's going to take to get there. And most people don't want to work hard, because anything in life that you need, you have to work hard at.
Yep.
You have to sacrifice. You have to work hard. You have to be willing to do whatever it takes. And that's the attitude that you have. Like, because you told me you've been rejected. You told me that you failed a few times, but it obviously doesn't look like it's stopping you.
Man, no, it's not. It just fuels me more. I'm like, well, now I'm going to do it.
You're going to fail. You know how many more times you're going to fail?
I'm just expecting it. I've heard a lot of successful entrepreneurs just say, get comfortable failing.
Oh, you're going to fall.
Love failing.
You're going to fall on your face 500 more times.
And it hurts. But learning that mindset of just getting comfortable failing, you're not scared of failing, then you're not going to be scared of anything. You're like, okay, it didn't work out, on to the next.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
You still learn something.
That's what it is. Bingo.
Yeah.
What you said is so true. It's the failures in life that you take as building blocks for success in order to build your future of what you want it to look like. But you cannot get there without failing a million times. I probably failed yesterday. I probably failed this morning. But you know what? That's not going to stop me from getting to where I need to go. So what do you do on those days? Because we all have them. Look, we're women. We're emotional. We have our periods. We have, my favorite is I work with very few women in my industry, and I was sitting around a table. Bless these girls' hearts, because I love them. But, women don't do as well in my business. And the number one reason is because they're full of excuses. I hate to say it, but they're full of excuses. So we're sitting around a table. You're going to love this. And I bring all the women there. This is the office that has the most amount of women. And we're talking about, what is the reason you're not doing well? Your male counterparts are doing really well. Well, so one girl says, my period. Then another girl says, well, like I have anxiety. And I'm thinking to myself, and I've talked about this openly before, like I have all that shit going on in my life. Like there's a lot of days
Didn't
that
stop you.
no, like there's a lot of days that I want to go home and pull the covers over my head. But what gets you or what prevents you from doing that?
Yeah, I mean, what you said about the hormones, I've heard that. I've made that excuse before, I'll admit it.
Oh, me too.
Yeah, I mean,
but it's not a real excuse.
Yeah,
That's not a real excuse.
No, it's not. And I actually learned that. Are you familiar with Layla
Hermosi? Yeah.
Yes, she spoke on that, and she was talking about, yeah, I mean, hormones suck. I hate being on my period. I have cramps. I don't feel good. But she said that our bodies were prone to believe that when we're on our period, we have to be sad. We have to be in bed, curled up. We don't want to do anything.
It's called placebo. It's not real.
I think it's just like we manipulate ourselves.
Yes,
like,
it's into believing
that's what we were believing.
Yeah, you were brought up to believe.
Right. So whenever I'm in those situations of not feeling motivated, like I said, going to the podcast, going to the motivational videos, it works because you're kind of hearing a story from someone else, like Layla Hermosi. I felt like she was so relatable.
Yeah.
Like, okay, good. I'm not the only one. Like I thought feeling this way, I was supposed to feel this way. I'm not supposed to work if I have cramps. And yeah, it just listening to those people and realizing, okay, I'm not working hard enough. If she can do it, I can do it. So
it's absolutely true. That was my mentality my whole life. I remember like my mentor, who happens to be my best friend. I remember watching her on stage. She like walked across, got this big ass check, and I was thinking to myself, if this bitch can do this, there is no reason that I can't do that. And it's it's really what happens. It's a paradigm shift, and your mentality has to be aligned with what you're really going to do. And there came a definitive point in my life where I knew 100% that I was going to either go big, and that's it. It wasn't go home. It was go big. That was it. I already knew this going in. There was no compromising it. It had nothing to even do about money. It had to do with me and pushing myself to my limit. And I think a lot of women, and this is horrible to say because I'm such a huge advocate for women, but they give themselves they give themselves permission to have excuses.
Yes.
And that's not, and men go through it too. And I think honestly, we have it the worst. But when you're right, when you hit that gym, take a Midol. Take a Midol.
Midols work.
Yeah, they do
my
work.
Favorite. I live off.
Put a heating pad. Like there are
while you're on the computer.
Yes, there are ways. Like you cannot give yourself permission to say it's okay because then you believe it.
Yes,
and the bad.
Mind.
And the bad is a lot easier to believe. But if you wake up and you're like, yes, I'm going to have these periods. There's nothing I can do about it.
Yep.
It is what it is.
Unless your cramps are hurting so bad that you cannot walk, no making excuses.
Oh no, girl, I'm going. I'm still going.
Really, you are?
I'm still going.
I don't know. I might take 10 minutes.
I'm going. No, I'm going. Like it's the same thing, like I suffer very bad from anxiety, like debilitating to the point where I'm frozen. And it's a real thing. I mean,
I feel like a lot of it's very common with women.
Yeah,
anxiety.
It's a real thing. Your body goes into this whole thing, but that's still I will never give my permission to allow that anxiety to take over to where I can't perform something I'm supposed to do.
Just use it as fuel.
That's all I do. That's exactly, yes. Yes, I love it. You really are. You are the next generation BILF. I love your mindset. I love what you're doing. I love everything about you, your whole energy, your aura, everything. And I hope that more young people, I hope all young people watch this. I'm going to make my daughter watch it if she's not already. But I'm going to make sure that all young people watch what you're saying because it's so important to emphasize the fact that, in life, you're going to be faced with many challenges. This is just what it is.
Life is hard for everybody.
It's absolutely hard, but it's also beautiful.
Yes.
And if you work hard, you can do anything that you want. Absolutely anything. I love that regardless of the failures or the rejection that you faced, you're still persevering and you're still going forward. So what's next for you?
Like I said, just building as many skills as possible to be able to turn that into something great long term. And yeah, I mean, that's pretty much where my mindset is at this moment. I don't want to jump ahead. I have a tendency to jump ahead into things that get really excited. So I'm just taking one step at a time, still the same goal, just shifting the path as I go. And yeah, learning those skills and growing as much as possible, being comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Yeah, that's the beauty about life. You don't really need, I'm winging it every day.
I feel like we all do.
Yeah, I'm like, there's no set of directions on how to do this. That's what I love. Like, you can make your goals, you can do whatever you want, and you can control all of that, control the controllables, and then get where you need to go.
Mm-hmm.
There doesn't always need to be like an inscribed plan. It just doesn't need to be like that.
Mm-hmm.
But as long as you do have long-term goals and you have some kind of path to get there and know that it can change, you might have to go left instead of going right. You might have to go over a bumpy road. Those are all things to expect. So be prepared for the unexpected.
You just have to fall in love with the process.
Yeah.
Really. It's the mindset. The mindset is so important. And I wish a lot of people understood how important mindset is, how you talk to yourself, how you start your mornings. And that really just sets the tone of.
Do you say affirmations?
I do occasionally. It depends. Like I said, I prefer listening to motivational speeches, but if I'm like really low, I'm like, I am beautiful, I am smart, I am going to make it. Relax. I tell myself to relax maybe like 5 times a day. You're good.
Yeah.
So those are my affirmations.
Yeah, it grounds you. Sometimes you have to bring yourself, I always try to remember that, the earth is not falling.
Right.
The ceiling's not crashing in on me.
Life could be so much worse.
Yes.
And I try to also keep that in my mind of what I'm going through is hard. Have your 5 minutes, but it could be so much harder and so much worse. So just maintaining that mindset.
Do you have a why?
A why?
Yeah.
What's yours?
My kids.
Your kids?
100% my kids. It changes. Like, it fluctuates. I would say initially my kids. Now I would say, like, my kids always 100%. That's like another non-negotiable. But I would say that my why is to positively influence every single person that I meet.
Mm-hmm. I would say mine's pretty similar to that. I was going to say feeling fulfilled and happiness, but that also stems from helping people, my family being able to support them. My little sister being able to take her on vacation. She's still asking me, when are we going to go? I would say this is very similar. Just, I feel fulfilled if I make other people happy. I feel happy if other people are happy and I'm doing something to help others. So
I love that. That's how, that's same thing, servant. Like, I'm a servant leader. That's how I feel. I would like, that's my love language, is
the mom mindset.
Yeah. Oh my God. You're an old soul over here. So if people want to find you, where would they find you?
So they can find me on Instagram, Jacquelene _E_, or on YouTube. It's just Jacquelene. I might change my Instagram name too as well. I hate the extra E in the underscore, but everything was taken. So I had to make do. But yeah, that's where you guys can find me. I am building out my YouTube channel and putting as much fitness content as possible. So I'm really excited for that. And
I love that for you. If you haven't fallen in love with her, I don't know what you're doing. You're out to do I could feel it. You're going to be amazing. You have such an incredible future ahead of you. I am so excited to see where your path is going to take you. I'm a huge fan already, so I will follow you on your path. But ladies and gentlemen, from one BILF to another, thank you for coming and joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome. Bye, everybody.